Okay, I want to play because I think it fits in well here. The Caroline Levitt clip. This is where she's working with her baby. We'll just show the picture of her working at the White House with a baby in one hand and helping to run the country with the other. Now, when I first saw that picture, I thought, wow, that's a pretty extraordinary, powerful image of a young woman who's very young to be doing the incredibly important job she does. She does it, I think, extraordinarily well, and she's a mother and she's feeding her son whilst doing this at the same time. Rachel, when you saw that image, it got a lot of blowback, good and bad. You know, some people loved it, some people hated it. What did you think about it?
Well, I actually tweeted about this too because although I'm a big fan of Caroline
Hmm.
as a person, I think she's great, she's smart, she's lovely. I don't understand this compulsion, especially in the Trump administration, but on the right in general, where we're supposed to be conservatives,
Hmm.
where we are pushing mothers to work. Trump has been a huge proponent of hiring women, getting women back to work as soon as possible after having the baby. And I think this is a huge mistake because, number one, what are we conserving? If we're not conserving the traditional family and traditional gender roles and motherhood in the middle of a birth rate crisis, what
Now this is an interesting topic and an interesting point of view coming from this young lady, right? Because again, growing up, how I grew up, how my mother grew up, and listening to even my grandmother, how she grew up, those women pretty much like always worked. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, after the baby, man. Sometimes, let me tell you something. Back in the day, they were just spitting them things out. They were spitting babies out left and right. Like, oh, they got another one. Go ahead. Ah, I got that. Let's go. Let's go and get that baby started. So, I mean, I can understand where she's coming from with this. Like, you know, getting women to, I guess, like stay home because women deal with a lot of different things like after the pregnancy. Of course, they're recovering from the pregnancy itself, whether it be a C-section or natural birth. You got postpartum depression. It's probably a lot going on. I can't necessarily speak to it. Maybe you got some insight, either from having conversations or whatever. You're a woman, you know, born biological. So you would maybe be able to speak to this a little bit more. What are your thoughts on what she's saying? Like, women, do you think that women should go back to work, like after, I ain't gonna say immediately after, like maybe a month after having the baby, or do you think that they should go the route in which she's saying, like just be pretty much just, I don't know if she's talking about just staying at home in general or what?
Uh, I actually do think that the woman needs some recovery time. Because one, each case is different.
Yeah.
Because like you were saying, there's postpartum, and then there's like pre-existing conditions too
Oh yeah, I
that
didn't think
some
about
women
that.
actually have.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then it could also depend on the household.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Right. If
it's a
that
yeah, it's kind of like right on the line. Like,
if that man ain't making enough money, you know what I mean, and bills are due, of course she's not gonna be able to. But let's just say, for instance, right, they're an average income family. Just speaking and talking about average people, and he can afford to take care of the bills for a decent amount of time. What would you think is a time where women can have children and maybe stay at home or whatever, or be away from a job? And maybe those, and I think that this is definitely important, that those jobs should be giving those mothers like paid leaves, right?
yeah, some companies and jobs do. They also give paternity leave too.
Yeah. So what
Um,
what would be the time for that?
Typically I hear 3 months.
3 months? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
typically I hear 3 months.
3 months is not. Yeah, that's not bad. I think the most of it I heard was like a year, but I think that was over in like Canada or something like that.
Probably,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
where they gave them an entire
A
year. Not
year.
only the mom, but I think even the
Yeah.
dad. I don't know if it was a year or 6 months, but that's phenomenal, man. And this would be considering that this, and yes, this would be mandatory. This would definitely be mandatory considering that young lady is actually in like a long-term relationship with the father, if I don't know, man, it's just like if you are sitting out here, just having children by different random people, we ain't gonna keep paying for that type of stuff. But if you are involved with one person, you know what I mean, whether y'all believe in marriage or not, but y'all are actually in the same household, then yeah, I think that yes, provide up to a year of leave, paid leave for those women that move like that. I think that would be decent enough.
What are we conserving as conservatives? Just like lower taxes? I mean, should be a core issue for us on the right to say, no, motherhood is not a part-time gig that you do on the side. You don't, ship your baby off to daycare where they're spending
Ship
three
off is
times as
crazy.
much time with a low-wage daycare worker as they are with mom while you go and do your career. There's plenty of life to live after raising kids. I think after you've done that, if you want to venture out and do a few more things, once you have the empty nest, I think that's okay.
Mm.
But pushing mothers to work it's one of the key things that's tearing apart the fabric of society, because we're not raising our own children. We're not passing down our values to them. We're sending them to daycare and we're sending them to state-run schools, and that's who they're being raised by.
So it sounds like she's saying forever. She's saying forever, like forget the damn paid leave, like that's it. Well, once the children come into play, that is going to be my focus. And when she puts it like that, I completely understand that. And I think that most people, if most people wasn't living above their means, and they could take that what I call like delayed gratification. I actually had a conversation with the pastor about this the other day or whatever. People are out here, trying to take trips, trying to buy, all these different clothes, shoes, and spending money on a lot of reckless stuff instead of staying down and pouring into the stock market, their Ralph RA accounts and stuff like that. Like if people would just do that, I think they'll be a lot better off. And I could honestly see how this would probably help the economy, because what that's going to do is you'll have a lot more women, instead of them being in the workforce, start to be stay-at-home moms. And I think that the power of the dollar will actually go back up instead of come down like it has been doing. You know what I mean? Instead of, again, like she's saying, like forcing women to go back to work. And instead of that doggone thing doubling, it'd be cut in half. And then we could possibly go back to, the way that things used to be, where you can actually support a family just off of one income, because that dollar will be a lot stronger, a lot more powerful. I don't know, how that will play out in real life, but it sounds good. The theory is good.
Like Clementine, your response to that?
Do you work, Rachel?
No.
You don't make any money from your podcasting
I make some money,
or
but
your
I do.
appearances?
I do maybe a
you
cup.
do some form of paid employment.
Yes. First of all, my children are grown up now. I'm 44 years old, so I had my first one at 20. They're grown up. They're moved out.
Yeah.
But I work still very, very part-time, maybe a couple hours a week at most.
But do you have
My primary responsibility is to my husband.
Oh, yeah, I told my, hey, you got to love it. Clip that. Clip the hell out that mother, boy. Good. Listen, your talking points are invalid. That's it. She already done cooked your. She cooked her, boy. Do you work? Yeah, it's only a couple of hours per week, but my children are grown. I'm 44 years old. Had my children when I was in my early 20s. And even still, to this day, my primary, like the reason why I'm, doing whatever it is that I'm doing, my primary thing is still, like, my time is dedicated to my husband. Good grief, boy. Hey, just go ahead and put a stamp on that thing, man. Clip that. Clip the hell out that damn thing.
But you've got 5 children, right? Is that correct? And they're all grown up and all moved out, or you've still got some young children?
The youngest one. The youngest
we
ones
still have
are
a couple
teenagers.
at home. And by the way, just making an argument from hypocrisy.
So can I just
Bring
ask
out the
you?
hypocrisy.
Can I just ask you? Do you find, even with the small amount of part-time work that you do, which you do get paid for, do you find satisfaction from that?
Not as much
Do you get
as
satisfaction
find-
from that work?
It's not the money, because Andrew makes far more than I make. I make a very, very tiny amount of money off of, my book and a couple of appearances here and there, might sell a few books. It's practically nothing. If I was doing it for the money, it'd be a waste of even the couple of hours. But what I would say to that is, we're not against women doing other things. So if you look at the Bible and the Proverbs 31 woman, she does a lot of things. She's out buying land, she's making decisions, she's doing all kinds of things. The difference is that she's doing them under the purview of the guidance and leadership of her husband and for her family, not for a corporation, not for her own glory, not for her own ambition.
A lot of that depends on whether or not you have faith in the Bible, which obviously not everyone does. But the reason I ask you those questions.
Her point is still valid though. I don't think you get to understand what she's saying, man. You know what I mean? Like, listen, you can do a bunch of things, right? But nothing is still more important than what we got going on in this home. All right? My family, my loved ones. I'm not gonna put a damn job over them, regardless if you believe in whatever you believe in.
Wasn't because I was trying to set you up or anything like that. It doesn't surprise me that you would get some satisfaction. To me, the point of the question wasn't about the money. It's about the work. It's about the passion that you put into it. And the reason I asked was because a multi-year study done by Adrienne Freck and Sarah Damaske, found that the mental health of women who worked full-time after the birth of their first child was significantly higher than those who didn't have paid work at all. So I think that taking into account the fact that for a lot of women.
Hold on. Again, what she's doing is she's not understanding what this young lady said is you're still doing other things. All right? Even after, you have children, she's not saying that she's just sitting around not doing something. She's still actively doing things for her family, for herself, because again, I do think honestly that any person should definitely be putting themselves first, because your health is everything. If you're not in good health, then you can't really benefit anybody. But yeah, I think she's missing the point, man. I think that she's way off right now,